Oh,
What up?
I'm Tutmo. Today I want to talk about 3 easy tips to get you started in FL Studio. The first thing we'll do is look at the beat, kind of hear what it sounds like, the final product that we'll be creating today, and then I'll break it down completely from scratch and show you exactly what I did to get that and point out 3 particular things that are very helpful that you can use in the tracks that you create. Let's go ahead and play that. Now I know your first thought is,
Oh, Tutmo, that's a dope ass beat.
Where'd you get that, man?
I'll tell you how to get that beat. We're going to make it right now. The first thing we will do is go up here to File and click on New. That way we will be starting completely from scratch. Your setup should look exactly like this. You may have the channel rack popped up, which is totally fine. Everything is blank. There's no sound.
Nothing.
The first thing I'll do here is just set up the kick, and that's as simple as left clicking these buttons here and turning them on. I'll play that really quick for you just so you can hear what I'm doing. Cool. But let me create the actual kicks that we had in the track that you saw in the final product. Awesome. The next thing we want to do is we'll add in our clap sounds, and I'll do that for you really quick as well. And for our hats, we'll just right click and hit 2-step, and then we'll fill in this one in the middle so it'll sound like this. And then the final thing we'll do is add a little snare at the end just to kind of bump it up a bit. Boom, 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 boom. It's a bunch of bad sounds. That's all that is. So the first tip I want to show you is how to swap out instruments. The default here is your kick, clap, hat, and snare that FL Studio provides every time you open up a new project. What we want to do is not use any of these wonderful sounds that FL Studio has provided us and swap out just a couple of them. Not going to do all of them. Some of them are going to stay the way they're at, but a couple of them we're going to swap out so we can make the sound a bit cooler, a bit more hip-hoppity, just a little bit. The first thing we will do is swap out this clap right here. So in order to do that, we'll just use a very simple instrument that should be coming preloaded on all of your FL Studio copies. All of them, everyone gets one. So we're gonna go over here to packs, which is in the left-hand section. I'll left click on that, it'll expand. You'll see my drums are already expanded. If yours are not, all you have to do is simply left click on that, and we'll drop down here to percussion, and just a little bit further down, you'll see all these instruments. I'm going to pick the Groove Clap 06. If I left click on that, you can just hear what it sounds like. And I'm going to left click and drag that on over and hover over the clap. You'll see a green outline appears over the box. That basically is letting you know if you drop this here, it's going to replace it. So that's good. That's what we want in this case. Just make sure that you want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and release my left click, and you'll see here that my patterns have remained intact, but the sound that is being produced has been changed to Groove Clap 06. Let's hear what that sounds like.
Excellent.
The next thing we want to do here is swap out our hat so it's not as high pitched. It's more of a chill, just that kind of a thing. So over here again in the left hand menu, I'm going to just minimize my percussion just so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to left click to expand the hat section, and I'm going to click my 808CH. Let's double click. I don't know why I double clicked. You can just hear it by clicking once. Great, just to make sure that's what we wanted. So I'm going to left click and drag that on over here. Drag that bad boy on top of that hat. Put that 808CH on top of that hat. I'm going to release that left click, and I'm left with the sound that I wanted with the same pattern I've already created. So let's hear that just really quick. Excellent, excellent, perfect. You're doing great. The next thing that we want to do is add in a grand piano. So I will go over here to my packs, minimize my drums, left click on instruments, drop down to keyboard, and then go over to my grand piano. I'll left click on that and just drag it on up there into my channel rack. You'll see that it loaded.
The grand piano.
The next thing we want to do with this big bad boy is right click on grand piano, and I'm going to left click on the piano roll. That's going to drop me into my piano roll, and here are all the notes. I can choose from so many damn notes, but what I'm going to do is specifically pick the ones that I showed you I would pick. Let's go ahead and set those up now, and I will not show you what tip number 2 is going to be just yet, and that will be coming in just a couple quick seconds.
Just chill out, alright?
So left click to add my notes here. Cool. So let's just hear what that sounds like. It won't be quite what the final product was just yet. Excellent. What we want to do, and this is now tip number 2, is to add some slider notes. What? So slider notes are going to let you do some of these really, really cool things that you hear in almost every single track that's ever been anything, is where it goes doo or kind of slides to the note. Now you can either slide to the next note you're trying to get to, or you can just emphasize some kind of drop down and then back up to the note, whatever. We're going to kind of do a little bit of that in this. So in order to add a slider note, what you got to do is left click, and you'll see it brings up the same note that we just had. I'm going to shorten that just a bit, and what that does is it allows the note to hit and then drop down. Now you'll notice there's no slider note yet. Let me just show you what that sounds like. It's not a slider note. It's not a mistake. Watch this. Yeah, we don't want that. We want it to be doo. So one easy, quick way to do that is just double click, and that's going to open up the note properties itself, specifically for the note that we just clicked on, which was E7 here. And all we're going to do for this tutorial is left click on this little ramp. So if you're a skateboarder, that's a cool thing, right? I'm going to click accept. You'll see in the bottom right hand section of that note is the ramp that we just created, and basically it's going to ramp down. Let me hit spacebar on my keyboard so you can hear what that sounds like. Okay, cool. The next thing we're going to do is add just one more note. Same thing we just did. So quite simple. What we're going to do is drop down here to A6 and add a note. If you have this note selected, I believe it adds more slider notes if you wanted to do that. So whatever note you have selected, that's what kind of pastes next. I guess I clicked on something else to create this. But in any case, let's say you can tell this is not a slider note. I'm going to double click and just slap on that ramp. Just slap it on there. Real good. Okay, click accept, and now we've got our complete little melody, the amazing melody. Let me hit spacebar. Okay, great. The next thing we're going to do here is go up into our playlist, and we're going to open up our channel rack. And if you'll see here, I've got everything on one pattern. I want to move that. This is a little bit of a bonus. This is a bonus tip here, man. You know what? You get a good deal. Okay, so let's right click, and I'm going to do is cut this bad boy up here in my little pattern section where it says pattern 1. I'm going to scroll up one and then right click and then paste. The main reason I want to do that is so I can separate these two sounds. I can bring in sounds and take out sounds. That sounded absolutely confusing. Ha! So let me go ahead and go down to pattern 1 and just show you what I'm talking about. I can drag out pattern 1 here, and now I can scroll down to pattern 2, and let's say I just want one chunk of it. Let's play that really quick. That's not a refresh button. I don't know why it looks like that, but make sure it's not orange. So I'm gonna left click that and play that for you and just show you if this was all in one pattern, it would basically keep playing. So that's good, but the final product had 2 patterns in there, so we'll keep it like that. Again, just showing you what it looks like on the channel rack. There's pattern 1 with our little kick clap hat and sort of a snare, and then pattern 2 is our grand piano. Now let's get into tip number 3. So here's what we're going to do for that is, if you'll remember, on our clap we had a little bit of reverb, a little bit of kind of a thing going on there. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. It's actually very simple, and within that reverb you may remember it wasn't just it was more of a which is the ping pong effect. Let's show you how to do that right now. With my Groove Clap 06 selected, I've got this little properties window popped up. Make sure you can see that. I'm going to double click on my tracks where it says number 2. That's what FL Studio does, is the first 4 instruments that you have on there are going to be defaulted to the first 4 channels in your mixer. You'll notice the one we added, grand piano, does not have a channel because we didn't assign it a channel, and we won't assign it a channel. Moving on. With my Groove Clap here selected on track number 2, I'm just going to double click. All that's going to do is open up the mixer. There's probably like 15,000 in different ways to get to the mixer, but we're just going to use that one because I wanted to. So now that it's open on track 2, I'm going to basically, again, insert 2 is what's selected. So any instrument on track 2 will be affected by what we're about to do. So just make sure it's only got that one instrument selected. In slot 1, I'm going to click this little left arrow that pops out there. Look at that. Look at it. It likes when you poke it. I'm going to left click on that and go up to my Fruity Reverb. Boom. Now I've got some reverb on here. I mean, you can crank up the wetness or whatever. I won't get too much into it. I just want to let you know where it is. It's right here. Now that we've got the reverb on our instrument, let's just hear what that sounds like really quick. I'll hit space on my keyboard. Okay, cool. If you want to crank up the wetness just a little bit, that's really going to emphasize the reverb. Could be good, could be bad. Let's just hear what it sounds like while I'm doing it. Yeah. I'm gonna bring that down just a little bit. Okay, great. Next thing I want to do is back in my little Groove Clap 06 instrument here. I'm
I'm gonna click on this wrench. We're about to get to work.
and then I'm going to click on my ping pong effect. Yep. Just make sure that's left clicked. For my feed over here, I'm going to crank that up to about 20%. Let's try that right there. Let me just hit spacebar. Yeah. Crank that up just a little bit more. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's about 30%. And you can always see in the upper left-hand section here where it says File, Edit, Add, blah, blah, blah. It'll show you kind of what percent you're on or what instrument you're hovering over, all that cool stuff. So I'll just show you really quick. See how it says Delay Feedback? That's because I'm hovering over it to see what the delay is. If I left-click and start dragging, it'll show me what percent that is. So I'll go ahead and play the final product really quick here. Awesome. If you like this video, let me know by clicking the thumbs up button below. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And if you want to stay updated on any future FL Studio tutorials, subscribe to my channel now. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.